Hey guys, this is Trade Runner with Trading Analytics, and this week we're going to be taking a look at stocks that you want to add to your long-term portfolio and what makes these tickers so attractive to a long-term holder. But before we get into that, hit that red subscribe button and click the notification bell if you enjoy this type of content. It really helps the channel out. Let's get to the video, guys. So Palantir Technology is a software company that specializes in big data analytics that was founded in part by Peter Thiel, who, for those of you who may or may not know, was one of the co-founders of PayPal, along with Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Additionally, this company has secured several large government contracts with the U.S. Department of Defense for both their counterterrorism and their cybersecurity departments. So it's a very, very, very big player on the AI front as well as in the technological sector as a whole. So it's very exciting just because it's been around for 20 years and it's in a space that's going to continue to grow and expand. Now, a reason why this company is exciting for investors is because, like I mentioned before, the artificial intelligence space is something that's continuing to grow and evolve, especially as new and improved technologies are developed. And Palantir is at the forefront of that. They have partnered with IBM in efforts to revolutionize that company's cloud technology bases, Amazon in order to improve and innovate their working capital systems, as well as with Babylon Health, which has been quoted as saying that there has been no one that has been putting forth the amount of technology that's going to continue to shape the health and wellness sector like Palantir has and will continue to do in the future. So it's very exciting. Now, if you want to take a look at some of the financials of this company, which is one of the most important things that you want to look at when investing long term, let's take a look at the market cap of Palantir, which, as you can see, has a market value of about $15.27 billion, which, to kind of put in perspective in comparison to other large companies, if Amazon wanted to, it could buy Palantir 66 times over and still have money left over in the bank for them to do whatever it is they want to do. So just give you an idea of the size and scale. So it's not a very large company in the technological space, but it's one that has continued to be on the innovation side and will continue to be a major player, which is why so many investors are so bullish on this long term. So next thing I want to do is take a look at the balance sheet of Palantir and kind of get into a little deeper dive as why this company should be bought and held long term versus in the now for short term profit. Now, as you can see, the total cash on hand that the company holds is about $2.4 billion. And looking at the accounts receivable, you see a number about $266 million in accounts receivable, which represents a year-over-year growth of about 3.61% versus June of last year. Also, you see the current total assets of $2.9 billion, and the investments in advanced that this holds within the company is $29 million. Other long-term investments also $29 million, which brings the total assets to over $3.2 billion in total asset class holdings. Now, one thing to kind of understand with Palantir, though, is while it seems to be a very asset and cash-rich company, it's actually been operating in the red for a number of years. And the PE ratio, as you can see here, is a negative 27.4. Now, there's a reason why investors are not so concerned with that, because typically when you have a negative PE ratio or a PE ratio that is below 30, a lot of investors will be like, oh, that's, the company's not profitable. Why should I want to buy and hold that? Now, the reason for Palantir having a negative PE ratio is because of its stock compensation incentive that it gives to its employees. So for those of you who are uninitiated, what that means is that the company, in an effort to kind of retain top talent and keep, the high-ranking members of its board, or whether it's their scientists and data developers and analysts that may be accepting positions with other companies, they offer stock of the company as an incentive to keep the people on board with Palantir. And to date, Palantir has issued out over $700 million worth of stock to its employees and shareholders. So what that does, it keeps those employees on board with the company long term. But what it does for investors also offers a bit of dilution, because as the company pays out more stock to its employees, that's less for us to buy, or it introduces more stocks to the marketplace to be bought by other investors. So it kind of dilutes the total percentage of shareholders as well. But as a whole, and relates to PE ratio, it shows that the company is operating in the red, but it's not accounting for the growth potential as well as overcompensating for the stock that's being given out to its shareholders. So that's kind of why a lot of people who are holding Palantir long term aren't really too worried about the stock incentive program, because for them, if this stock held exposed the way that they expect to do in 5, 7, 10 years, then that's going to be a moot point, and all the dilution they would have to endure in the meantime will be well worth it. Also, it's important to keep in mind for investors that while Palantir is not profitable currently in terms of cash and assets versus its liabilities and what it pays out to its employees, it has a very detailed plan in place for the company to be profitable as a whole by 2025. So that is a short 3 years away. Now, a lot of people are like, 3 years, 3 years. When you're holding a stock long term, 3 years is a very, very short amount of time. And for those investors who have been bullish on Palantir for a number of years, that's nothing. And the fact that the company has outlined its detailed plan, as well as any challenges it might see in the future, the fact of the matter is the company has ties to the U.S. government, which means it's very, very, if it's a very, very strong base and has a very easy path to continue to succeed in the future. Especially as new contracts come out, new government contracts. I mean, as you saw last year, if you guys were watching the market last year, when Kodak rebranded itself from a camera company to a company that's going to be working directly with the U.S. government in terms of pharmaceuticals, that stock skyrocketed once that happened. So Palantir, with its existing relationship with the U.S. government, as well as its current detailed plan to kind of become profitable by 2025 as a way to reward investors going forward, is very exciting. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. And finally, looking at the growth grade of Palantir, you see that has a current growth rate grading of B. It's grown 31.32% year over year, and it's actually been growing every single year over the last 5. So it's something to kind of look at and see that as the company continues to grow and evolve, even though it's not being profitable, the fact that it's been able to show that there is a growth potential in the company, it's very exciting for investors, because at some point, a company's going to continue to grow. It's going to be profitable in one way or another. So that's what the hope is with Palantir. This is why a lot of long-term investors are bullish on this stock. This is why a lot of people have added Palantir to the long-term holding. And that's one of the reasons why us as a group here at Trading Analytics have added Palantir to our long-term holdings as well. So just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention, do a little bit a longer form video going into detail of these companies and why you want to add them to your long-term portfolio, as well as looking at some of the financials and some of the, not really the technical charts, technical analysis, but looking at the financial base and the financial backing of a company as to show why it would be a very, very smart long-term hold for the future, potentially, of course. But in any case, I've been Trade Runner. This is Trading Analytics. If you haven't already, hit that link in the description of this video to sign up with Moomoo to get your chance to get up to 15 free stocks worth up to $2,000. And link to our Discord will also be in the description of this video, so feel free to check that out. You guys know how we get down over there. Adding Palantir to our long-term portfolio is one thing, but on the daily with swing trades and day trades, Discord server is where it's at. Link to that will also be in the description of this video. Thanks for watching.